Hello, 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 hello. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Get Social. And I'm excited today. Happy New Year to everyone. This is our first live of 2025. And we're going to be focusing on Simplicity 9648. And we're actually going to be doing view C, which is this skirt. Right, left. Okay, there we go. And so welcome to everyone that is joining. As you all know, January with Black Sewing Network is where we focus on beginner sewists. So we're going to be, taking the opportunity to go back to the beginning and try to remember what it is like the first time that we started sewing. And so in addition to doing the normal instruction that I always do, I'm also going to just be talking about some things that I think are meaningful to beginner sewists. And of course, I hope that we have some people that are sewing along with us in this sew along as well. So if you are sewing along, make sure that you drop it in the chat. Let me know so that I can make sure that I answer any questions that you have and I do not go too quickly through everything. Hi, Monica. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. I hope you had a wonderful New Year's. And hi, Belinda. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So for those that may not have saw, this is the pattern that we're sewing, and we're doing view C, which is this skirt, this view that has this overlay. It's a skirt, and basically it has an overlay piece as well. Hi, Latoya. Welcome. So this is my first time sewing since, I think, when did I last sew? December. I think I took the last 2 weeks off. Last week or two off. So I feel like it's been forever since I've sewn, even though it's probably only been a week, no more than two, for sure. So I'm pulling out the instructions, and I'm kind of sad because I originally planned to do this skirt in a houndstooth fabric that I had purchased a while ago. And because I wanted to do view C, I actually do not have enough fabric to do view C. And so because it requires you to cut this overlay on a bias, and I did not have enough fabric to do that. I probably did, but I didn't realize that I needed to cut the overlay pieces on a bias. So I probably could have positioned the fabric differently than I did. And so I'm a little sad about that because I did have enough to cut everything but the overlay pieces. So right now I decided to just recut it again in another fabric, which I do like as well. But I was really looking forward to doing it in the houndstooth. What I may do is, if I can't find any more of that fabric because I bought it previously, then I may end up doing it in a different color, like a solid black or maybe a red or something else that might be complementary to the houndstooth. The houndstooth that I had that I was planning on using was white and black. And so I'm going to figure out another, maybe another fabric that I can use just to do the overlay piece. But I am going to be doing today's in this light wool fabric. And it is going to be monochromatic. So all of the pieces are in the same color, but you don't have to do it that way. You could definitely do your overlay piece in a complementary color. Or if you look at the pattern piece itself, they have changed the direction that they did it. So they have, and that's probably actually why they have it on a diagonal, because one is cut with the selvage end line and the other is cut on diagonal. And I didn't realize that that was the reason why it had it on, but either way, I didn't have enough fabric. So with that said, I've cut a whole nother pattern. So worst case scenario, I'll just sew the dress up or sew the skirt up, because I could literally do view A, B, or D. Or actually view A is exactly the same, because the pattern pieces are for C and A are the same, except for the overlay. The overlay uses the pattern piece from B to create the overlay, because as you can see, there is two different lengths, and the length is longer for view B than it is for view A and C. You said cutting on the bias will make the flap fall differently. Oh, okay. So in addition to it being a different, because as you can see, you probably can't see it from the picture, but this is like a plaid, and the overlay, the plaid is going diagonal, and the skirt is going straight up and down. But because it is going to be, cut on the bias, Monica was saying that it also will fall a little bit differently. So we'll see on this one that I cut, because again, I did cut it on the bias, but it is all the same fabric. So I don't know that you'll necessarily tell that it has been cut on the bias, because there's really no pattern to it. It just all looks exactly the same. There is really no, I guess you could, maybe, we'll see. We'll see if it actually does show up when it's all put together. But anyway, because we are doing UC, you have those two extra pattern pieces that you do need to cut. So you're literally cutting every piece of this pattern, because the overlay is, again, it's piece B and D, which are the same. You're just cutting one. So you would have cut piece 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You'll have all the pattern pieces will be cut. You just cut a different number of pattern pieces for the overlay pieces, and it actually gives you those instructions. It tells you, instead of cutting 2 for piece 7 and piece 6, I think it is, yes, you're going to only cut 1 for piece 7 and piece 6. And then if you like this pattern, you like this skirt, and you don't do the overlay, then you are literally only cutting the front and the back on the fold. So it's just one piece. The front and the back are both cut on the fold. I'm sorry, it's just one piece for the front and one piece on the back. It is 2 separate pattern pieces, but you don't have to cut 2 pieces for the front, 2 pieces for the back. And so I cut piece number 3 and piece number 1 on the fold, and they make up the front and the back of the skirt. And then we have a pocket piece, which is piece number 2. And then we just have our facings, which are piece number 4 and piece number 5. Our facing pieces. This, in addition to the pocket, this does have an invisible zipper that we will be adding. So we're going to talk about going through that step as well. I thought something dropped on the floor. Hi, Sebs. Hi, Queen Bee. Hi, Little Bite. Karen, welcome. DW, welcome to everyone. Hi, Kay. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. TikTok is going crazy. Everybody is on there going crazy. The stream is just going up like crazy. All right, so we're going to get started. Like I said, we are doing UC, which has the overlay. And so the first thing that it tells us to do is that we're going to do a stay stitch at the top. So I'm going to set, let me see, I'm going to set my overlay pieces to the side for now. That's piece 6 and piece 7. So I'm putting them over to the side, and I'm going to also put my facing pieces as well as my pocket piece over to the side. So I'm pulling out piece number 1, and I'm going to do a stay stitch across the top. And one of the things that you want to make sure that you're doing when you're putting in the stay stitch is that you're going from the outside to the inside. So you're not going to just do one stitch all the way across. You're going to do halfway. You're going to stitch from the outside to the inside middle, and then from the right side outside to the middle, and from the left to the middle. And that's going to basically just keep your skirt from pulling in one direction or the other. So I'm just going to move this to the side. And I'm going to do that. And so we're going to do the stay stitch at 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch seam allowance. So it is going to be in our seam allowance. Our seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch. And so because we want our stay stitch to fall within the seam allowance, we're doing it at 1/2 inch. So it falls right within our seam allowance. So I'm using woven fabric, and one of the things that I would do is to keep my edges from fraying is that I would serge the edges all the way around. I didn't do that with this, so I will have to either use pinking shears at some point, or I could attempt to serge at the end once the skirt is all, put together, especially since there really are very few pieces. Well, besides at the top where there is a facing, but I was going to say where there are very few pieces that overlap. Sometimes it's just quicker to use the pinking shears. And so because I did exactly what I told you not to do, which is I stitched all the way from one side to the other, I am literally going to stitch half of this back halfway. To the middle. Here we go. So I did my stay stitch, which is, again, I did from the outside of one to the middle, and then from the outside of the other, outside of the right to the middle, outside of the left to the middle, and that creates that stay stitch to stabilize it across the front. Now, the next thing that it actually asks us to do, or this is actually the first thing that it asks us to do, is it asks us to work on the pocket. There's a pocket on the front of the skirt, and it asks us to stitch a short edge, to finish the short edge of the pocket, which is the part of the where there are the 2 dots. So you have 2 dots right up here. So it asks us to finish that. It says to finish the short edge of the pocket, which is the part with the 2 dots, by doing a zigzag stitch over the edge, or you could serge the edge of the pocket. Again, that's another way that you could finish it, is by serging it. I did not serge it, so we're going to fold under and finish it with a zigzag stitch. And let me see. And then turn the finished edge to the wrong side. Actually, it doesn't tell us just to fold it. It actually tells us to just do a zigzag stitch at the top. So before we do that, I am actually going to get my chalk and mark this. So this, I've had this pattern in my stash for quite some time and have wanted to, let me see, which side do I want? Okay. And have wanted to make this skirt for a while. And so when I saw that it was easy, I was like, okay, this is going to be a great pattern for beginner friendly. Now, I have to be honest with you. I did not realize that it had, I should have known that it had a zipper in it, especially when I realized that it was woven. Because I was like, how are we getting into this? Now I am I've cut a size 16 is what I've cut for this pattern. And it's funny because when I first bought this, I wrote on it and I was a size 12, which is so funny. So I'm so glad I didn't cut the pattern back when I really wanted to do it, because I'm not a size 12 anymore. I am now a size 16. And a size 16 is a hip width of 43, and it doesn't tell you the waist. Well, it doesn't tell you the finished garment measurement for the waist. So, but what I will tell you is that I did kind of put pin the facings around to make sure I could get them around the waist area, and I was able to get them around the waist area. So my waist area right now is a 35. So my assumption is that the waist is going to be about a 35. Hey, Sebs. Thank you, Sebs. Yes, thank you. You are on it. I love that. Thank you. I think I'm getting spoiled by this chair being able to roll over here. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get my standing desk, because I am going to get my standing desk. I do enjoy being able to stand when I sew. Come on now. Let's try this. My chalk does not like this. You said, look, I looked on the front, and it only has the hip measurement. Yeah, it only has the hip. So I don't know if you could see that, but. And the hip for a 16 is a 43. You can see that. But it only has the hip. It does not, unfortunately, have the and they don't have it on the outside of the packet either. I don't know what the reasoning behind that is, but that is what they did. Okay. So let me move this over to the side so it doesn't get in my way. And again, what I'm doing is I'm just doing a little zigzag stitch. And right at the edge in the seam allowance. But hopefully all right. Making sure my fabric doesn't get caught up in there. So anybody got any goals, sewing goals, or other goals that they've set for 2025? Drop it in the chat. Let me know, what are you focused on in 2025? Okay, so I have that. I will tell you that one of the things I started doing over the Christmas break is I started knitting. I'm sure you all have heard of those Wooble. I think it's called Wooble. Wooble, like little knitting, teach yourself how to knit kits. I got a couple of them, and and I've been, knitting with them, and I'm loving it. I've made, not finished. I've started, not finished 2 of them already. Just because I like making the whole ball part, but then when it starts adding the other little pieces, I kind of get like, I'll move on to another one. But I need to fully finish the 2 that I have started. But I really want to make a sweater. I think by the time next fall comes, I want to get good enough to make a sweater. The one thing I will tell you that I've learned in starting to, learn to knit is that you definitely have to pay attention. I have like a little notepad where I'm like taking notes so I can count like how many stitches or whatever, how many rows I have done, knits I have done. I don't know what you call it. But I like it. I do like it. And I can see how people really do like doing it. I won't ever give up sewing because sewing is much more efficient for me. Because I would imagine that to make a sweater, it's going to take me hours and hours and hours and hours to make one sweater. But I think I want to do it. So anyway, that is one of my 2025 goals that I've added. I've never had a knitting goal before. C. says, I love to learn crocheting to make prayer shawls. Yeah, so you know what? And I see people, since, of course, when you start looking at stuff on social media, it starts feeding you all this stuff. So I have been fed so many people who are crocheting and who are now knitting. And I see people crocheting with the 2, I'm gonna call them sticks, crochet sticks or whatever. And some of them have like a little loop at the end. Others are like 2 free sticks. I've been watching these videos. It's amazing how you can, I'm on the plane watching these videos. Thank you, Sabs. You are just out here showing off and I appreciate it. Look, Shamir said her goal is to make dope clothes. Look, that was your 2023, 2024 goal. Girl, you've been doing that since I met you. I said a new goal, Shamir. You giving us your old goals. You been making dope clothes since I met you anyway. I'm just looking at people's, okay. Okay, so let's see. So we've done that. And then it says, turn the finished edge to the wrong side along the upper fold line and press and stitch. So we gotta do our pressing. So I'm gonna open up my iron. Like I said, I have not been sewing. So I got everything packed away. Taking my iron out so we can press this piece. I'm folding it onto the wrong side. And if you're sewing in the chat, make sure you drop it in the chat. Let me know. Are you sewing? Let me know if you are sewing. And if you're sewing, what are you sewing? So I've been spoiled by my little, this is supposed to be my travel machine, my backup machine, but I've been spoiled by it. I have not taken my serger out. I have not taken my Bernina out of the cabinet since I won this sewing machine at the Baltimore Frogtails last year. I've been spoiled. I'm telling you, I have been completely spoiled. Monica said, I want to make 2 garments a month. I think that's an excellent goal. Somebody had asked, I don't know, I think it was Lisa from Black Woman Stitch. Somebody asked, or maybe it was Chris from Unsocial had asked, how many garments did you make in 2024? And honestly, I said 40, but it's probably more than that. It's probably, I don't know. I'm guessing. So C. Hayes says bags, aprons, dog clothes, kitchen towel sets, placemats. I know that's right. I love all of those things. All of those things. So one of the other things that I want to do, so I always make clothes. Like I'm a kind of a garment girly, but I definitely want to do some other types of things. And you will see, like I put up my sew alongs, my Friday sew alongs now all the way through the end of March. So the next 3 months, all the sew alongs are all posted. And I have some non-garment items, in there. So I think we're making like a wallet. We're making a toiletry bag or makeup bag, depending on what you want to call it. Because to me, they're both the same thing. Yeah, so I have like March, I think I'm calling it crafts, arts and crafts and things, because we're doing not, I think we might be making one garment, but maybe not. I don't know. I have to go back and look and see what I put together, but yeah, I've made a lot of clothes. I'm trying to, switch it up a little bit, maybe figure out what I could do differently, because that goes with my, last year was all about, um, using my existing fabrics, which again, I still want to do that as well. I'm trying to like really cut down on the extra fabrics that I'm buying used, because as I stated, all of these cabinets are full still. I mean, it's a little bit of space in these cabinets and drawers, but I need to free up a lot more before I start really buying fabric. And my goal is now, once I get through a lot of this fabric, my goal is to not buy bulk fabric, to just buy a piece that I plan to use for a specific thing, and not just like go crazy like I did for the first 2 years that I was sewing and just buying up way more than what I needed. So yeah, I'm trying to, those days are over. Look at that. Y'all see that steam? So I am ironing with my Eliso iron, little mini iron, which is like amazing. Y'all heard me talk about this all last month, but amazing. Okay. Amazing iron. So I've just pressed down. So I've pressed this from the right side to the wrong side. And then it says, so let me see, let me just go back. Turn the finished edge to the wrong side along the upper fold line, which I did. This is one of the fold lines. So there are two fold lines. This is the top one. And then there is another one. You can't really see it, but it is literally right here. And then it says stitch 1/4 of an inch from the finished edge and then baste the raw edges together. So it wants us to base stitch down. You can't really see, but it wants us to base stitch down on both sides. So that is what we're going to do next. Actually, it wants us to base stitch down here and then also across. So we're going to do that. That is what we're going to do next. I'm just going to move this down, get it out the way. There we go. And, the base stitch we're going to do in the seam allowance so that we don't have to necessarily take it out if we don't need to, or if we don't want to, rather. Okay. All right, so you can't really tell this, but I'm just going to tell you what I did. Basically, this is folded down to here. This is my zigzag stitch across this raw edge, and then I did a base stitch down here. And then it tells us to turn the upper edge of the pocket to the outside along the remaining fold line. So I think it's telling us to turn right here because there is a fold line right here. So we will be folding it down like this. And then stitch along the seam line on the raw edges. So then it's telling us to basically stitch all the way around and here. So I'm about to do that right now. And I think this is where we're going to fold it. That's why we're fold it around. Hi, Ms. Brasner. Hey, Peach. I am working on Simplicity. I'm going to do it. Oh, here we go. Simplicity 9648. And we're doing view C. And right now we are working on the pocket. We are working on the pocket right now. Let me put this, I'll just put it right here. Okay, now let me see. And then it says press under raw edges along the stitches. Yep. So we are literally going to press we have this stitch line that we did all the way around these 3 raw edges, and we're going to press them down. So we're going to do that now. Hey, Brooklyn Timmy, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone that I didn't say Happy New Year. I'm still trying to. So one of the things, I saw someone do this and I thought this was really a great idea, which is this person recorded a video on December 31st of the things that they wanted to accomplish in the next year. You all may have seen this video too. And then basically did like, you know how you see the videos where someone plays another video and then plays themselves, like, you know, like one of those review videos. She basically did a review video of herself. So she did the video kind of talking to herself. To give you like an example, she was like, you know, basically talking to her future self. She was like, I hope that you did this and I hope that you did that. And did you like lose weight, or did you keep up with this, or did you do that, you know? And she's kind of reacting to like the things that she was saying to herself. And I thought that was really like a great idea. Hers was very positive. And so I thought I wanted to do that on New Year's, but I just didn't have the energy. But I thought it's not too late. Like, who said you have to do it New Year's? So I thought I need to really think about what do I want to do in, 2025. What are the things that I want to accomplish? And maybe I'll do a video to myself and post it. And then I don't know if she posted it, but she did a video to herself. So maybe she did post it because she kind of was in that little 2 frame where she's right here and then the old her is here, the new her is here. But I thought it was like a really good idea, and it was so positive. I liked it a lot. And I thought, wow, that's a great thing to do. I would love to do something like that. So I think I might do it. I encourage everyone, if you are up to doing something like that, to kind of hold yourself accountable. But I think it's also like what I found really neat about it, because she seemed really excited about it. She was watching it too. Is to like see your old self kind of talking to your future self, and I just thought it was really cool to like see herself. And I thought it would be really cool to kind of talk to my future self. And then a year from then kind of reflect back on the things that I said. So I thought it was a really good idea. Hi, Sharon. Okay. So I have pressed it down. As you can see, I love the pressing. The steam is everything. And look at that perfect looking pocket. Okay, so what it tells us to do is it tells us to, we pressed under the raw edges. Now we're going to stay stitch the upper edge of the front. We already did that. Okay, we already did the stay stitch of the upper edge of the front. And what does it tell us? Is it telling us to put the pocket on? I think it wants us to put the pocket on now. Yes, it does want us to put the pocket on. So we are putting the pocket onto piece number 1. So here is our piece number 1. And what I need to figure out is what side do I really want to be? I mean, they are really similar, honestly. One is flatter than the other. This one is more textured. One side is more textured. One side is a little flat. And it does have this little cross in there. I didn't realize it. Only as I'm looking at it as one whole piece, you could see this like cross. I didn't really see it. You can't really see it until you holding it up that way. Okay. So we are going to be stitching our pocket on. But before we do that, I need to draw my let me see. I gotta make sure. So this pocket is going on the left side because remember, you're gonna have a cover on the right side. You're gonna have so you want to make sure that, let me see, right, left. Okay. So it is going on the left side. Part of me is like, I should wait to the end because knowing me, I'm going to put it on the wrong side. Okay, so let me see. Pocket line for left side only. So that's weird because okay, that is going to be, because once I take this, trying to make sure I transfer this to the right side. Yes, okay. No, that's not. It's going to be on the right side if I do it this way. So I need to put it on this side to make sure it's going to be on the right side. Okay, here we go. So basically, let me just tell you what I'm doing. in order to make sure that this pocket ends up on the right side, I need to turn my pattern piece onto the wrong side so that I can trace this pocket piece, because this will end up being the left side when I open up the skirt. So that is what I'm doing. I am making sure that I transfer this over. And also making sure that when you are transferring it over, that you pick the right size, because there are two different areas where you can put the pocket, and it correlates with the size. So my size is size 16. So I'm just making sure that I pick. So all I did was mark the corners of where the pocket is going to fit. And now I'm going to just draw, connect the dots. That is all I'm going to do. You said I'm live jumping. Hey, Auntie Carol. Well, I'm happy that you stopped by. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look, it's a cold winter day here in Baltimore. It was actually snowing earlier today, and I know we are supposedly expecting 4 to 8 inches of snow on Monday. So thank goodness I don't have to travel. I don't have to go out in the snow, because that is one of the things that I do not like to do, which is be out in the snow. Okay. All right, so now I've marked that, and the next thing I'm going to do is pin my pocket on. I'm loving this. This is like looking so good. Okay, so I'm pinning my pocket on, but the first thing I got to do is actually get some pins, because as y'all know, I have clips that I like to use. So I'm getting some pins. This is a wool fabric. First of all, Happy New Year, Magali. And I am doing Simplicity 9648, and we're doing View C, which is the view with the overlay. And this is a wool fabric. So I'm literally making this look. I have a black turtleneck that I want to wear with this. And I have some black boots like the lady has on. But this fabric is it's light, so it's not super heavy. So I feel like I will be able to wear this well into the spring. Because, it could be, well, depending on where you are, spring can be, you can get 50s easily. It could be in the 50s in spring. So I think, but I don't know. It was 70 degrees the other day before I left to go to, this is 70. It was like 60 something. Almost 70. So this weather is doing something. I was just talking earlier today about how we really haven't had any really severe snowstorms in years. I mean, I remember, I don't know, maybe it was 8 or 9 years ago, I did a race in DC. I ran, it was either 5K or half marathon. I can't remember which one I did, but I had to drive home from DC, and it took me 8 hours to get home from DC, driving in the snow. And we haven't had a snowstorm like that. And I'm not asking for it, I'm just recognizing what, that it's different. Like, I remember, 15 years ago or more, we used to have at least one bad snowstorm a year. Now, I don't even know. I can't even tell you the last time we had a really bad snowstorm. Okay, so here I got my pocket pinned on. It is within the lines that I drew, so that's why you don't see them. You said you're getting the fidgets, single digits next week, no snow. We just got a little bit. Look, you in Chicago, like y'all always, it's always freezing there, and y'all always got a lot of snow. At least that's what I heard. I've never lived there, so I've only been, and I've never been when it's been snowing, so I can only repeat what I've heard. So correct me if I'm wrong, Auntie Carol, but well, you know what? One day I actually got stuck there because I flew in. I had a layover there. And that's the last time. I've only done it one time. And we could not get off the ground because they had to keep de-icing the plane. And I thought this will be the last time. And it wasn't snowing anywhere else until we got there. I was thinking to myself, like, why? Why? Okay, so I am stitching this down. I'm doing a narrow stitch at the end, and I'm going to pivot. So I'm just making sure that I get underneath this enough to where my fabric does not get caught. Okay, and I want my pocket to be straight also. So that's the other thing. Nope. Just stuck myself. This is why I don't like using pens, because I always stick myself. Hi, Angela. Welcome. All right, let me just bring this stitch down one more. Here we go. So I'm just stitching on this pocket. Making sure that it's straight, staying in my line that I drew. All right, last bit. going to do a little back stitch right here. There we go. And then the only thing I need to do is I need to do this little edge up here where I did not get this little corner. And then that'll be done with the pocket. We'll be ready to move on to the next step. All right. All right, last little piece. I just back it up. There we go. All right, so pocket is on. If y'all can see that, it looks pretty good, I think. If you could see that. So pocket is on. It blends right in. I probably should have did a different color, but I love a good monochromatic moment. That's my thing. Okay, so we have literally finished step 4, 1 through 4. And now we are going on to, where are we going? This is page 2. We're going to page 3. And page 3 tells us to put our darts in to piece number 3. So this is piece number 1 that we just put the pocket on. And now we are going to be doing piece number 3, which is this is the front. So now we're going to be doing the back. So I'm just going to move piece number 3 to the side. And we'll put our darts on, but we got to transfer our little markings. So who is anybody think that TikTok is going to be going away? Anybody think that? Are you all ready for that? Is it going to be, you think, in the US anyway? Because we know it's going to be everywhere else. I'm just sticking a pin in between and making my mark on the other side so that it'll be easy for me to draw my Sharon, it absolutely is political. 150 million %. That's my belief too. Well, at this moment, my plan is, I think the date was January 16th, January 19th, might be January 16th, something like that, where somebody has to purchase it by that date. So there's still time. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I'm going to keep, going live every Friday until then. So I guess it's only really 2 more or 1 more besides this one. 3rd, 7. Yeah, maybe 2 more. Yeah, I mean, look, I think we're all going to see, like, kind of what happens in the end. All right, so what side did I do? This side. Yeah, okay, good. Just marking my point. But I'm also, because I go live on multiple platforms, it'll be easier, easy to pivot. And I think most people are on multiple platforms, so I don't think that it's going to be an issue for most people to just, while they sort all this out. That's my personal thought. Okay, so I'm just making my markings on the other side so that I can do my darts. Here we go. That's my favorite thing about chalk. You don't even really have to, one wash and it's out. Maybe not even a wash. It might just come out. I am going to press this because it'll just make it easier. All right, there we go. Pressing this down. Hey, D, Ashley, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we are working on our back piece to our skirt. I just transferred the markings, and now I am going to press my dart, and then I'm gonna stitch it. Yes, there we go. I'm excited to wear the skirt. I am very much like a dark neutral person. Those are my colors. I love darks. I love neutral. I love black. That's like my favorite color, has been for a very long time. I love gray. Oh, okay. You know what? I thought that, Miss Tata, but I was like, you know what? Let me not make assumptions. Thank you for helping me. Thank you. Thank you. I know people have also started making accounts on Twitch too. I haven't, not yet anyway. But I know a lot of people in the sewing community are doing that. Happy New Year, D. All right, so that was quick. And now I am literally going to just stitch those two. There's two darts. So I'm going to stitch them both. So far, this skirt is coming along. It's not causing us any kind of problems. Pretty straightforward. I would definitely say this is a great pattern for somebody who has some basic skills because it gives you an opportunity to work on skills like the dart, like an invisible zipper, or you could really do just a regular zipper. You know, if you're new to zippers, and I have on my page several how to do zipper, regular and invisible zipper tutorials, like really quick to the point tutorials. But I like this pattern because again, it kind of introduces you to several, you know, new concepts, especially if this is your first time sewing like with woven, not, you know, knit, which is a little easier to sew with. Okay, so we have put our two darts in here. Here's one, here's two. Here's what it looks like on the finished side. You could see that. Okay, so now that we have put those two darts in, the next thing that it tells us to do is it tells us to stitch the front to the back at the right side. So we are going to pin the front to the back at the right side. So we're going to do that right side spacing. So the pocket side and our finished dart side are going to be facing each other. And remember that we put our pocket on our left side. Better be, anyway. So we are going to be stitching together the right side, pinning and stitching. I'm going to use clips. You trying to use coins from your old accounts? Oh yeah, that's, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I need to do the same thing. I have two, and I'm sure I have coins on there. So that is, thank you for saying that. So you say you haven't started one, but Carmen is on Twitch, so you got to make an account over there. Yeah, I'm definitely going to make one just because, again, I saw that also, in addition to Carmen, I saw D, who is Patterns by D, is also, I saw she was going live over there. So I will probably also make an account just so I could support and watch some of my sew sisters and brothers. Okay, so here's you said the right side. Yes, here's the right side that we put, because remember, what is supposed to be the left side has our pocket on it, so we are not. So it says stitch back to the front at the right side seam. So we're going to do that right now. Just on that right side. And I'm assuming that the zipper is going in on the left side. Okay, so I'm doing 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And I'm stitching from the top to the bottom. You say you see everyone is going live over there. So, oh yeah, everyone. Yeah, I haven't been over there yet, but I'm definitely going to check it out. I probably will make an account this weekend. Hey, Julian. You know what else I thought about, Miss Tata, is that I do have some money in my other accounts too that I have not cashed out. So I might have to do that too, just to make sure. Because again, I don't know what's going to happen with it. And hopefully it doesn't take a long time for it to be cashed out. Otherwise, I guess I might lose it. The other thing I think I like about this skirt too is that I tend to like either a short skirt or a long skirt, or skirts that come to the bottom part of the calf or below, just because I'm a short person. And this skirt, I believe, is going to fall in the perfect place where I like my skirts to fall when they are longer. One of the spots that I like to fall. So based on me just holding it up to myself. So all right. Here we go. So we have basically stitched this right side. Left side is still open. And it tells us to now we're going to be putting in our invisible zipper. So let me tell you what it says about that. So it says, stitch the invisible zipper using invisible zipper foot. Before you begin, be sure to line up your needle with the center of the invisible zipper. Okay, it's just giving you tips for how to line up your needle with your invisible zipper foot. I don't think I have a zipper foot for this. Let me see. Do I have a zipper foot? Maybe I do. Of course, I gave away all of my little... Okay, I think this is it. Look at that bone. Well, it's not invisible zipper foot, but it's a zipper foot. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use my zipper foot. It's not invisible zipper foot, but I'm going to use it because I'm going to use zipper tape to put the zipper foot in. Let's see. Open. So here we go. Here's my zipper, my invisible zipper. And here is my zipper tape that I'm going to use. And let me see. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I am going to press. So you have I'm going to press like a 1/2 inch of my fabric down. And then I'm going to put my zipper tape on. And I just like the zipper tape because this is an alternative to sewing in a basting stitch. This is an alternative way to put in a zipper. got one half sewn down. Now I'm just going to literally, and I'm basically folding basically a half an inch. And this just helps me with the placement of my zipper tape. All right. All right. So I just pressed down, and now I am going to take my zipper tape. If I can find the edge of it. I'm sure they won't be sending refunds either. Look, I think that they probably are like, you know, if you didn't request your money all this time, they probably gonna slow walk that, because I'm sure it's a lot of money. If I had to guess, I would assume. And they probably like, we ain't want to, you know, shut down anyway. So talk to your peoples about that. That's probably what they're saying. So RVB says, do you wear any color clothes? I do actually, but not that many. Most of the clothes in my closet, I've worn probably more color clothes since I've been sewing than I have, period, and before. Just because, you know, I could try different things and make it to where I like it. But my favorite has not changed, that my favorite is black. Definitely my favorite. Ashley, I'm using a it's like a wool. Is what I'm using. It's a lightweight wool. Okay, so what you see right here is I have put on my zipper tape, and this is a tape that I got from, it's like, I think it's like it's called like leather basting tape. I got it from Wawak a long time ago, because you only use a little bit. I mean, you see this, and I got like 2 of them, and I still have a ton. Like I mean, it's been 2.5 years or so that I've had it, and I probably won't be buying one unless it kind of dry rots or something. I don't know, but it lasts a very long time. So basically what I'm doing is I use the zipper tape. It's sticky on both sides. It's like double-sided tape, but it's super, super sticky. Like it's sticky to the point where you almost don't even have to sew it down. I mean, you do, but you don't, because it holds it on. Like I would trust trying something on with this tape in place. But once you put the tape on, then you basically are going to take like a sharp object, and you're going to score or scratch against the other side of the tape before you pull off the covering and stick on your zipper. And so you're just kind of scoring it to make it stick. Now, some people might wait to score it, because the more you score it, the harder it is to peel it off. And if you do need to make some kind of adjustment, then, you know, you might want to pull it up and pull it back down, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, once you do that, you're going to make sure that your raw edges are lined up before you put your zipper on. And I'm doing that, making sure my raw edges are fully lined up. side by side. And this is why some people will do the basting stitch method, just because you ain't gonna have to worry about it. It's gonna be fully lined up. But I like this way. Well, actually, you don't even really have to make sure it's fully lined up at this point, because you're going to put it on one side at a time. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome. Hi, Frida Page. Welcome. So, let me see. So this calls for a 7-inch zipper. This is this zipper that I have, I think is 12. Yes. So it's a little longer. I'm not going to zip the whole thing in. I'm not going to sew the whole thing in, actually. So I'm only going down to where the notch is that we put in. But I'm lining it up one side. Well, so I'm going to take one side off. Peel one of the sides off. If I can get it off. Okay, so I peeled one of the sides off, and then I'm taking my zipper tape and I am putting my right side of my zipper tape onto the sticky part of my seam allowance, or the sticky part of the zipper tape. And I'm lining up the top part of my zipper pull with the top of my, or right below the top of my raw edge of the skirt. And I'm just going to go a little bit lower. That's the other thing I do like about the zipper tape, is because you can pull it off if you need. If you do it right away, you can definitely pull it off and readjust it if you need to. All right. So I got one side on. I'm just pressing it, giving a little bit of a press before I stitch it down. So I still have my zipper tape on the other side. I have not done anything with that again. I'm just literally, and all I'm going to do is sew right in the seam allowance. So even though I folded it down, I'm only going to sew on. And you can actually unzip in it too, to make it just a little bit easier to sew. So I'm just going to sew right up to the zipper teeth. So I'm going to swap out my zipper foot. I think this might be my first time actually using it. I don't know. I can't even remember if I've used. I can. Oh, there we go. All right. I was like, why is this thing not going on? All right. So now I'm going to stitch this on. And I did unzip in it just to make it easier. Hey, Dee. I was just talking about you, saying that I saw you had started a Twitch account over there. How was it? How was going live over there? All right, so when I'm sewing in this zipper, one of the things that I'm doing is I am using my fingers to open the teeth of the zipper just so that I can get right into that groove. And I like to take my, before I drop my foot down, I like to take and open it all up. All right. Now let's see how. And I'm just using my fingers to open up that. And I feel like I'm gonna have to probably go over this again because this is not an invisible zipper foot, but I am, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting pretty close. All right, we're gonna see. You said it's a little like being on YouTube. You're getting used to it. It's going pretty well. Okay. All right. This actually did pretty good. I don't think I might not have to go do anything else. So I've sewed on one side. This is how it's going to look when the skirt is closed. And this is how it looks. So now I have to put on the other side. And to put on that other side, I am going to close the zipper. So the good news, Dee, is that Carmen did tell me that StreamYard does stream to Twitch. So I could, stream to that platform at the same time as I'm streaming to these platforms. So I'm still on the fence. I don't know if I can handle another account. Okay. I just don't know if I can do it. So look, this is what it looks like closed with one side being done. So now I just got to get this other side. Okay. So now this is the time when you line up the raw edges, because you want to make sure when you stick that other side of that zipper on that it is lined up. That it is lined up fully. So I'm just lining this up before I pull off. So I zip in my zipper back. Oh, absolutely. I'm happy to have it for. You know what? I love StreamYard. Now I'm looking at some other options. So for those that may not be familiar, StreamYard is. I'm making a skirt. Hey, Anthony, tell Linda I'm making a skirt. This is what I'm making. This skirt right here. Ask Linda, did she get my text message that I sent her? Okay, so I peeled off my thing from the other side, and now the key is to make sure again that this is lined up so that you don't end up with it crooked. And this is if you are new to doing invisible zippers, this is where, you know, maybe doing a basting stitch instead, which I do have a video that shows the basting stitch method to adding an invisible zipper, might be easier than this. I mean, this isn't hard, but it is like, you might be like, okay, what am I doing here? And so again, the thing I do like about the tape, zipper tape, is that you can adjust it if you need to. So I'm just pulling, you know, just looking at this to make sure it is lined up. Yep, there we go. Okay, once it's lined up, then you can, you know, push the rest of the tape down. And so that's all I'm doing is pushing this tape down to the zipper tape, the sticky tape down to the zipper tape before I sew it down. And so this is, again, another one of those areas where, remember I said this tape is forgiving. You can also like unzipping it before you stitch it down to make sure like, okay, is it going to give me what I want? So like here, this is where I'm able to see like, oh, it got some of the other. There we go. It got some of my other sides stitched in there. All right, there we go. So now that I got it lined up, I'm going to unzipping it, and I'm going to stitch this other side down. Same thing, open up that those teeth. Open it up. Put my foot down. All right, now I got my foot down. Now I'm going to, actually, I want it a little bit more over. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Now I'm just pushing this down, holding the zipper, teeth open, and then stitching it down on the other side. And hopefully I'm getting close enough because this is not an invisible zipper foot. So the difference is that you can't get as close to the zipper teeth. But I feel like I'm getting pretty close. But we'll see. Okay. Oh, she got it. Okay, good. Ooh, I think think I might have went too far. Let's see. Yep, I did. Yeah, I was worried about not going far enough, but I definitely think I went too far. So before I finish this, I'm going to take this part out. Oh yeah, that went right in his teeth. So if you go into the teeth, you won't be able to zip in it. And that's exactly what happened right there. So I'm just going to take that loose a little bit. And then redo it. If I can get this out. All right, there we go. Hopefully that was the only one. Oh yeah, that's not. All right, so I just took out a couple of stitches where I did go into, I stitched right into the zipper teeth, which you don't want to do because you won't be able to zip in your garment at all. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. All right, I think we are good. All right, so I think we have stitched both sides in. Not I think we have. And the next thing we're going to do is zipping this up. Well, make sure. Come on, don't give me a hard time. Okay, look at that. It is zipping. So you could see this is where the zipper is in. Now it's not perfect. I would love for this to be like perfectly, so you can't see any black at all, but that's because I don't have a zipper foot. So you could still see a little bit, just a teeny bit. Hopefully the skirt doesn't stretch and then you don't have to worry about it. Or actually it will be going this way. It's be on the side, so it'll be like that. So, okay, so we got our zipper in. Let me see who just came. Hello from Texas. Hi, Micheline. Hopefully I said that right. Welcome. We are working on Simplicity 9648. We have just finished adding our zipper. So that's step 6, 7. Let's see. And it is telling us now to pin the remaining half of the zipper to the left side of the zipper opening in the same manner. Make sure you open. Okay, close the zipper. Check that it's invisible from the outside. So that's what we just did. And it says invisible as we're probably going to get without a zipper foot. So but it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. So it'll be from this part up. Not too bad, I don't think. That's with all the pull, you get that. But it should be okay. Now let's say close zipper, check this invisible from the outside, pull the free ends of the zipper tape away from the seam, pin the remaining left seam together below the zipper. Okay, so we're going to turn. So right now this is right side facing out, and we're going to turn it to the wrong side facing out. And we're going to take this remaining area that we did not stitch together, and we're going to stitch that together. Here's the remaining area that we did not stitch. So let me just see. Okay, so the overlay is not going to, I thought the overlay might attach to the side, but it's not. So we're going to just stitch the rest of this together, picking up where we left off. And actually, I'm going to stitch it from the bottom because I think it'll be easier to stitch from the bottom to the top. And I'm going to throw a couple of clips on there just to make sure everything stays lined up. There are there are notches, but they are at the top, so you don't really have any notches. But everything is lining up pretty good with this. Hey, Elisa. Welcome. Happy New Year. Thank you. I was hoping, look, I feel like the zipper went in pretty good without a zipper foot. So, I mean, invisible zipper foot. So I'm happy with it. I'm not complaining. I would love for it to have been more closed even more, but you know, I think we got what we can get without our zipper foot. What did I do with my other foot? Oh, here it is. Okay. It's like, where's my other foot? It fell on the floor. So yeah, I think we got what we can get with the foot that we had. I think I might go back to my daughter, who I gave my daughter all my other feet when I got my Bernina, because I didn't think I would need them ever again. But I might go back to her and be like, can I get all my feet that you're not using? Okay, so 5/8 of an inch seam allowance is where we are stitching this, and we're closing up the other part of the skirt, going from the bottom all the way up to the zipper. So we're making really good progress with this. Where are we at? 138. And as of this, we have literally stitched. So if you were doing view A right now, you would be basically done except for hemming is what you would be done. But we're doing view C. So we will be putting in our overlay. Our overlay is next. Oh, actually you won't be done because you got to still put in your facing pieces. But I would say this is a fairly now this is the part where it gets a little bit tricky because we want to make sure we do not stitch over our zipper. There we go. I think we did a pretty good job there. And let me just see what it looks like from the outside. Make sure it's okay. I think that looks pretty good. Let me show you what it looks like from the outside. So let me show you on the side. The zipper is actually on the side. So here is what it looks like when the skirt is fully stitched up on the side. You can see that. That's the side with the zipper on it. Okay. And I only went down that far. Now, if for some reason I need to open it up a little bit more, I got another few inches of zipper that I could open this out and make the zipper go down a little bit further. But I feel like I should be okay. Part of me is like, this is the moment where you probably want to try it on. Cross your fingers. Make sure I'm not going to be okay. I think we might be okay. I got it on. Here's a little pocket. So we know it fits. We know that it fits. Still got to put on my facing and still have to put on the overlay. But it fits. So we know it fits. And this is over pants, even though they're leggings, but I know it'll fit over thick tights if I need to put some tights on with it. But this is probably the part where you want to try it on. Now, I might, in offline, I might end up making that zipper just come down a little bit lower because it'll just make it easier for me to slide the skirt on and off. But I can get it on without any problem. Okay, so we have finished that part. And now we are going to work on our overlay. So I'm going to put this to my lap. And Happy New Year, Elisa. Hey, Cindy. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Happy New Year. Okay, so we'll put this to the side and put this to the side. And now we are going to pull out our piece 6 and piece 7, which are our overlay pieces. And the first thing that we're going to do is do a stay stitch to our overlay. Piece 6 and piece 7. So this is piece 6, which is our front piece. So I'm just going to do a piece 6. I guess it's from the outside in. So from the curved edge, one edge is curved, one edge is straight. So we're going to go from the curved edge to the straight edge. And we are doing at a 1/2 inch. Remember, the stay stitch is in our seam allowance. So we are just stitching from the outside to the inside. Or we would be going from the outside to the middle. All right, so this is our piece 6. And now we're going to do the same thing to piece 7. Put our little stay stitch in. And again, I'm going from the curved side to the straight. So Dee, no, unfortunately I'm not coming to DC Frock Tales this year. I'm so sad about it because I have that DC Fractals happens to be sandwiched in between two work conferences that I have, and they're out of state. And so one is in South Carolina, and the other is in Orlando. So I literally will be leaving South Carolina on Friday and flying into Orlando that next day because I have to present that Monday morning. So it would have to, I would be flying home and then literally leaving back on Sunday. And I was just like, it would be too much stress for me to do it. But I am sad because I really, really wanted, I had such a great time at DC Fractals, and I was looking forward to going again this year. Of the 4 that I plan to attend, DC Fractals was one. So Baltimore, DC were definitely on 2 on my list that I was going to. So I'm sad that I'm not able to go. But what I did say I was going to do this year is I'm going to do the Baltimore Met Gala instead. So not instead, but because I cannot go. So that is what I'm doing instead. Okay, here we go. Did I put this on the wrong side? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Okay, good. I did not. I thought, because this fabric it's very similar on both sides, but one side is a little bit more textured than the other. So I wanted to make sure that my overlay was not going to be one side textured, one side not textured. Okay, so the next thing it tells us to do is to put the right sides together and stitch down, basically connecting that middle seam. So that is what we are getting ready to do. Looks like one of mine is longer than the other. I don't know how that happened, but we'll have to even them out at some point. Oh, we're going to stretch it out. Now, did I not? All right, I'm going to clip these. I know, I'm sad about it. I am definitely sad about it. Has anybody heard when Baltimore Fractals is going to be this year? I haven't heard when it's going to be, but I don't work or have to be. I'm available most weekends, so this is just one of those unusual things where, I mean, there's a couple times a year where I'm working through the weekend. And this is unfortunately one of them. But hopefully Baltimore Fractals will not be on the other weekend where I'm not available. All right, I'm stretching this out to make this fit because it's supposed to fit, and I don't know why it's not. All right, there we go. Let's see. Okay. So we have clipped the sides, and we are now going to, let me see, stay stitch the upper edge of front overlay and back overlay. Stitch overlay sections together. At the side seam, matching single notches. Okay, and then it says, then we are going to, so one of the things that it does, which we're not going to do on this one because I don't think this fabric has that, but it tells you to create this fringe. And so one of the things that you can do is create a fringe on the edge of this, and I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to actually do it on this. I was doing it for my houndtooth one, but I'm not doing it for this one. I do like a fringe look, but I don't want to do it on this one. So anyway, we're going to sew together 5/8 of an inch seam allowance is what we're working with here. We're going to sew the front overlay to the back. Yes, I do. I definitely do. Okay. When duty calls. So D, I'm not sure if you saw, but I'm doing your the Sassy Sweatsuit top for one of my Black History Month, focused on Black designers. I can't remember which week I'm doing it, but I am doing it one of the days in February. I can tell you it's not Valentine's Day. That's the day I'm not doing it. Valentine's Day happens to fall on a Friday, so I won't be sewing that day. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be so nice. All right, so we have stitched together the front to the back and the overlay. Here it goes. This is what it looks like. Now, I'm not doing this as I mentioned before, but there is a step where you can create a fringe on the edge and down at the bottom. And what it basically tells you to do is to put a stay stitch in. Does it tell you where to put it in? It says basically 1/4 of an inch. It asks you to put a stay stitch in. And then you're pretty much going to take either like a seam ripper or a needle, a pen, and you're going to kind of just fringe out the edge. And it'll go, you're going to fringe it all the way to your, to your stay stitch that you're going to put in. And you'll do the same thing at the bottom. And you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you and I'm going to show me. Okay. So here we go. So I got a piece of fabric and I'm just going to show you, but I'm also going to show me because part of the reason why I don't want to do it on this fabric is because I don't know how it's going to look and I don't want to ruin my skirt. So basically you have this, this fabric is telling you to, at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, to sew a stay stitch in. So I'm just going to do that really quick. Hey, Anna. So I've sewn it in And then it's basically saying to pluck the edge out. So it makes it like a little bit like a fringe. And once you plug a couple of them out, you can literally just pull. And it'll stop wherever you put the stay stitch in, it should just stop. It shouldn't fray beyond that, or it shouldn't get fringy beyond that. But I mean, it doesn't look bad. Let me just, I'm going to do a little bit more so you can see it. Just so you can see what it looks like. But I don't know if you could see that little fringe right there. But that is what you, and I think you could do it at any point in time if you decide like it's something that you like. I actually do like fringe, don't get me wrong. I like it a lot, but I wasn't going to do it. I might, but I'm not going to do it on live. I might, because I feel like you could do it at any point. You just have to make sure that you put that stay stitch in. And so it doesn't, if you don't do it, you do need to make sure that you hem. And the other thing that it did give you another tip, it said, for easy fringing, make little cuts every 2 to 3. So it tells you like, you don't want to cut into your stay stitch, but every 2 to 3 inches, it tells you to kind of just do like a little cut, like boom, 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 boom. So that way, and the reason why I was telling you that, so that way when you're pulling these strings out, it will just come off a little bit easier if you do that. So it's not hard. It just takes a little bit of time to kind of fray the edges. I might end up doing it. Yep, and it literally, when you stitch that stitch in, it stops the fray. It doesn't go any further than that stitch that you did. So it's a good alternative to having to do the hem. So I probably will end up doing it, because now that I'm doing this practice and I'm seeing what it actually looks like, I actually kind of like it on this skirt, which is what I wasn't sure how it would work on this fabric. I had cut the other fabric that I had prepared for this. I cut it and I tested it out before, so I was like, oh, I really like it. I like the fringe and how it looked, but I wasn't sure because I had to switch to this fabric at the last minute when I couldn't find I couldn't find any more of the other fabric in the store that I went to. So yeah, but it looks pretty good. I don't know if you could see that, but this is where I did it really well. I pulled it all the way to where the stay stitch is, and you can kind of see how it's going to look. So yeah, I probably will end up doing it on the skirt, because I do like the way it turned out. I like it. So what we're going to do for right now is we are going to take this and we're going to put in the stay stitch, but I'm not going to pluck it right now. I will pluck it later. So we're going to basically do a stay stitch all the way down this side, and down the bottom. Let me see. Front, back, and lower raw edge. Yes, so all the way around, except for the top. We're going to do a stay stitch. And we're going to do it at 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that's what I am doing right now. And I think my other motivation for doing it, yeah, RBBs, thank you. I think it looks nice too. I definitely was looking forward to doing it on the other fabric. So I'm glad that this one also looks pretty good. Hi, Robinson. Yes, thank you. So Robinson said, can we talk about how clean my sewing space is? Let me tell you, this was not the majority of 2024. This whole space was full of bins. And I got just the beginning of last year, I bought 2 of these cabinets and it wasn't enough. And I ended up having to get another cabinet, which is that one right there. And between that and using my stash, sewing my stash, I was able to get the rest of the fabric and everything in between. And then you can see I put some bins on top of these where I have some notions and other things that I don't use regularly. So yeah, thank you for that, because I was determined. I was like, I gotta figure this out. So now I still have to get, and you all probably heard me talk about this. Hi, Chris. Hey, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. I said I can't work like this anymore, and so I finally got this all straightened up, and I make myself clean it all up after each time so that I can start with a fresh space. And now I just got to get a desk. So I'm working off of this little desk, but I really want a standing desk, which is one of the things. The super chat, it should be there. Is it not there? Because it definitely should be. Yeah, so I should. Yay, okay. Let me see. It says. Why? Why is it not? I don't know. I don't know. Thank you. I didn't know why it's not showing up, but it should be. I have to re-enable it. Okay. Let me see. You are right. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Thank you. Okay, I just did it. I just re-enabled the super chats. So thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you for telling me that, because I did not know. I just enabled my super chat. So my channel is monetized, but I had to revalidate or whatever. So it took it away for a minute. I didn't know I had to turn everything back on. So thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so yeah, so the next thing I'm doing is trying to find a standing table, because I do actually enjoy standing and sewing. Not only is it more healthier for you, especially if you sit all day long. But I'm like, if I'm gonna be sewing for hours, I might as well be standing and doing it so I can be burning some extra calories, right? That's the way I feel about it. So all I'm doing right now is I am literally just stitching all the way around at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Oh, thank you. Put that up on the screen. Thank you so much for all your support, Black Sewing Network. She just sent a super chat for $9.99. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. It's nothing like being monetized going into the new year. And I appreciate all the support, all the follows. I'm up to 1,200 on YouTube. So I appreciate all the shares, all the follows, all the support. It's greatly appreciated. Okay. So I am doing this last. Where we at? Oh, we at 2 hours. Okay, we're not doing bad. We're almost done. So I'm just doing this stay stitch so that when I do fringe out the edges of this skirt overlay, my whole skirt doesn't end up fringing. That's what we don't want. So make sure you backstitch at the beginning and end. So Carmen, we were just talking about you and how you're over on Twitch, and Dee was telling us how she likes it. She said it's pretty similar to YouTube. How are you liking it over there? Have you actually went live, or are you just doing your replay videos right now? Thank you, Dee. Have a great evening. Okay, so we have done, basically we put in our stay stitch all the way around. So you want to do it on 3 sides, your front, your back, and your bottom piece. You do not have to do your top piece. So now that we've done that, we are going to, okay, so Carmen said, I love it. She loves it over on Twitch. She went live yesterday and today, and she did everything through StreamYard. So technically you can stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Okay. All right. So that's good to know. I mean, like I said, I've been hesitant to like adding it so I can come over there and see you all, but adding it for a platform for myself. But I don't know. I mean, if it's something that I can do simple and just stream on over there, why not? I mean, I'm doing this effortlessly to Facebook and YouTube. And then, of course, I have TikTok now as well. And so if it's just adding another platform, then, so I don't know. I will explore it this weekend and definitely see what, how effortless it can be to add it. So, but I will definitely be joining just so I can come over there and see what y'all are doing. Okay, so now it is telling us we're going to grab our piece number 4 and our piece number 5, which are our facing pieces. So we down to the wire, our last couple pieces. Here we go. And one of the things it tells you is that you will interface these pieces, piece number 4 and piece number 5. It tells you to interface those pieces. I'm not interfacing my pieces because they are pretty, they're pretty, I guess, what do you call it? Not pliable. So the interface basically makes it a little bit more sturdy. And so these pieces are pretty, sturdy. And so I'm not interfacing my pieces, but you will want to interface. The instructions tell you to interface on the wrong side. You're going to interface on the wrong side of piece number 4 and piece number 5, which are your front and back facing pieces. Do you still use Blue Sky? If so, how are you liking it? Oh yeah, I'm on Blue Sky. So I am still using Blue Sky. I haven't been talking much sewing stuff, a little bit of sewing stuff where it interfaces with some of the other things. I've been mostly talking about sports on there because it's football season and I love football. But I like it. I like it because it reminds me of Twitter back in the day. You're not getting spam like structured. Thank you, Carmen. Interfacing will make this much more structured. And so, because I feel like my pieces are structured the way that I like them enough, I'm not adding any additional interfacing to them. I might regret it, but I'm not adding it. But you should definitely add interfacing to the wrong side. That is what the instructions tell you to do. Wrong side of piece 4, wrong side of piece 5. And then we're going to connect them together at the, we're connecting them together at the right side, I think it is. Yes, at the right side seam. So interface to the wrong side, and then we're going to be stitching both these pieces together on the right side of your of piece 4 and 5. Yes, stitch the right side seam of piece 4 and 5. So yeah, I do like Blue Sky. It reminds me of what Twitter was back in the day. You're not, I mean, and it could just be because it's still a young platform, meaning that doesn't have, hasn't been around that long. But I go back over on X every now and then, and I mean, there's people that I don't even follow. I mean, I'm getting so much spam on my feed. I don't even see the people that I do follow. I don't even see their post anymore. So that's not the case. Literally, my feed is, there are people that I'm not following that are in there every now and then, but most of it is the people that I follow. And the people that I don't follow are like recommendations, more like based on things that I've commented on or liked in the past. So if I like somebody's stuff that I haven't followed, or I found on somebody else that I do follow, like they reposted it, then they might say, give me some of that. But I like it personally. I definitely like it. Okay. So let me just make sure that I'm doing the right side. And that would be, so they don't put any darts on. So let me see. How do I know? This is the dart, this is the dart. Okay, those are my 2 darts from my center. And, well, you'll know because, let me make sure I'm also doing this on the wrong side. Is this wrong side's facing? Okay, wrong side's facing. Nope. I want right side's facing. Yes. Here we go. Right sides facing each other. And I just need to make sure that I am stitching together the right side. So that's going to be this side. So I'm stitching together the right side, and then it also says that they want us to finish the unnotched edge, which is going to be, the notch edge is at the top. As you can see my little notches in there. I think you can see them. Can you see them? So the unnotched edge is at the bottom. So they want you to do a narrow 1/4 inch stitch to that unnotched edge. So first things first, we're gonna stitch together the front and the back at the right side. So let's hope that that's the right side. 5/8 of an inch seam allowance is what we're doing. Okay, and then now that we've stitched that together, we're literally going to, and let me just make sure. I always like to make sure, because when it says right and left side, Okay, on the outside, based overlay. Oh, you know what? We got to do one other thing before we attach this. We got to base stitch our overlay on. Just want to make sure. This is going to line up right with this. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to make sure that these are lining up right. Okay, here we go. Back. This is how it goes. Because what I'm doing is, before I finish this, is I'm just making sure that I have stitched this together correctly by lining up my notches where they both fit. Making sure that they are all, okay, there we go. Yep. Okay, so I've stitched this together at the right side seam, and now I am literally going to finish. And this is where it would be helpful to have the serger, because if I had my serger out, I would literally serge this entire piece all the way around. I would not do a narrow hem. I would just serge it, because that would be so much easier. But I am going to finish this bottom edge by basically folding it under 1/4 of an inch and then stitching it. That is what I'm going to do. And I think I'm also going to press it first, because that'll make it easier to sew it down. What time is it? 2:17. Okay, 2 hours, 17 minutes. We're doing good on time, because we literally have two things to do. One is to add our facing, and then add our cover or overlay. And so we did skip this step. So while I'm waiting for the iron to heat up, which doesn't take that long, but we're going to baste our overlay to the upper edge of the right half of the skirt, matching the notches and the center and the side seam. So right half of the skirt. Remember, we put our pocket on the left side. So this is our pocket. So we are literally going to baste this onto the right half of the skirt. Yes, here we go. And I'm just going to use these clips and hook it on. And then I'm going to do a base stitch along the top. And it actually probably easier to line the side seams up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to line the side seams up. clip that on. And put this on. That's my dart. It's like, what is that? Okay, here we go. And I've gotten it clipped on. I lined up my center seams, and then I've just clipped this on. And this is what it will look like. You can't really see because this thing is kind of folded in there, but let me straighten it out so you can see what the overlay will look like. Can you see that? I think you can. So I'm just going to stitch this along. And this is important that you stitch it on at this point, because when you add your, when you add the facing, it's going to cover those raw edges. It's going to basically encase those raw edges, so you don't have to worry about what is happening with those raw edges. So I'm just going to do a quick stitch. It tells you to base stitch it. But I'm just going to do a quick stitch in the seam allowance. Yes, Candy, you absolutely can ask a question. 100%. Please, absolutely. Okay, so I'm doing this stitch in the seam allowance. And again, I'm just making sure my raw edges stay lined up. And then I'm going to back stitch, even though you don't technically need to, but I am. All right. So I have now officially attached the overlay to the skirt. And one is shorter than the other. So once I hem this bottom of the actual skirt itself, you will see that it is a couple inches shorter. So it doesn't look that much shorter now, but it will. Okay, so next thing is we are, can you embroider on all Brother machines? Oh, thank you, Joshi, for answering. I appreciate you. Okay. Now I'm just folding up and doing a Oh, look how that just lays down perfectly. That quick little bit of steam. Joshi, did you hear me talk about that? I'm going to be doing some knitting. I started by doing, you're probably going to laugh at me, but I started by doing, I got one of those wobble wooble things, and I got more than one of them. I got a couple of them. But just so I can learn, I feel like it's helping me learn like the basics. Yeah, it's helping me learn knitting, crocheting. Yes, knitting. Yes, that's right. I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Knitting. Am I doing crocheting or knitting? Now I'm confused. I gotta look at my thing. Now I gotta look and see what is my thing saying. Now you're gonna make me go over there and get it. You said, oh, it's crochet. Okay, thank you. Look, I know you would know. Well, I love it, and I'm hoping that I will be able to make a sweater at some point. Right, because crochet is the one where knitting is the one where they have the two. That's right. I said that right earlier. Uh-oh. Let me plug in it's telling me my thing need to be plugged in. Okay. I think this is the last little bit I need to use my iron. I mean, this iron is not a joke, okay? It just said you just need a little bit of pressure, a little bit of steam, and it does what it needs to do, okay? Yeah, this is gonna make it so much easier. Look at that, boom. All right, let me move this out the way, and then we're gonna do a quick little stitch. Do a quick little stitch and keep this down. You said you're afraid to put water in your iron and have that same one you use this. Oh no, let me tell you, you gotta put water in it. You see all that steam coming out? Don't be afraid. I love it. I love that. I love Myloso iron. It just works so good. And I love the fact that it has that steam. That steam is it's everything. It's a game changer. You said you use distilled water. Oh, okay, understood. Not just regular water, use distilled water. I need to do that. I haven't been, but I should. Thank you. I stand corrected. You said it'd be leaking. Oh, I didn't. Well, you know what? I haven't had any problems with leaking, even with regular water. Maybe I've just been fortunate because it doesn't have a lot of water in it at one point in time. So I haven't had any problems. Uh-oh. Let me see. Try to remove yourself, but you think it is somewhere. Oh yeah, you can't remove it. I can remove it. I don't think you remove it. So tap is it Tamara or Tamara? Joshi said use distilled water. So this iron is an Aliso iron, and it is amazing. So what I'm gonna do, so Magley, I will send you a link if you're interested, because I absolutely love the iron, and I love that it has the steam, which is, as you all know, I was using my my iron that did not have, my little mini iron, which is what I like when I'm sewing. I have those big irons too, but when I really need the steam, I will pull out my big giant iron. But this, now that this has the steam, I'm like, I don't need it. My little iron does the trick for me. All right, I am doing the last little bit. And Josh, I'm gonna go out this weekend and get me some distilled water. I haven't had any. Oh, you said not this iron, the other irons. Oh yeah, it'd be leaking. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had any problem leaking at all. But so to stand corrected, Joshie said the other irons that he's had will leak. But I'm gonna get the distilled water just to see if it makes any difference. But I've been so happy, and I haven't used distilled water, but it probably does make a difference in terms of the longevity of the iron. So I'm gonna get it if no other reason, for that reason. Okay, so I have now finished the edge, and now what we're gonna do is, oh, let me plug my plug this in, because it said if you don't plug me in, it's gonna be a problem. So let me do that, because I don't want to lose everybody. So we're down to the wire. The last thing that we are doing is we are literally going to connect our facing to the skirt, because we have already attached our overlay. And oh, there's my plug. Here we go. Is that one? Yes. Just plug in this thing, give it a little juice. If I can get this thing in here, here we go. There we go. Okay, I got it at 4%. Got it right on time. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to take our skirt right side facing out, and we're going to take our facing. We got to open up our zipper. We're going to open up our zipper. We're going to open out our zipper so that we have the seam allowance part. And we are going to line up our raw edges to our raw edges all the way around, matching up our notches all the way around. So again, I'm opening up my zipper, and I'm lining up my raw edge to the raw edge of the zipper tape and the raw edge of the top of the skirt. So you might have a little bit of the zipper tape part sticking out, but it's okay, because you'll be able to just cut that right off. So I'm just going to clip all the way around, because this is literally the last step that we have. I will hem the bottom of the skirt, but I'm going to do that offline. Because the only edge that I will be hemming will be the skirt bottom, and then I'm going to use the, I'm going to create the fringe on the overlay piece. And then I'm going to go and try it on so y'all can see the fit. We already know that it fits because we did look a little try on already. I'm going to pull out my boots because I'm going to try it on with my boots. So y'all have to give me a few minutes. And this is where, again, it'll be really important to make sure that you, you know, do your right seam allowances, because whenever you have a facing, that facing is based on the same seam allowances and measurement as the waist of the skirt. So if you start playing around with the measurements of the waist of the skirt, you have to make those same adjustments to your facing. Otherwise, your facing will not fit. And so I'm fortunate I didn't mess around with it at all. It's fitting perfectly. So I have clipped this all on. It's completely clipped on. So the facing is clipped onto the right side of the skirt. So again, this is my overlay piece, which I still have to fray that edge, but it's on the right side of the skirt, and I am literally going to sew from, this is the inside of the zipper tape, from the side all the way up to the top and all the way across the top of the skirt, pivot down, and then go to the other side. That's what I'm about to do that right now. And that is literally the last step that we're going to do on live, because I will hem it off of live. I will hem the bottom part off. But we're going to try it on. After this, we'll try it on. And I will be making this skirt again because, like I said, I already have the houndstooth cut, except for the overlay piece. That's the only pieces I don't have cut. So I am so excited to be done. This definitely turned out really well. I'm very happy with how it turned out. If you decide to make this, you said, am I going to serge this part or sew it? So I think in the end, well, the overlay part, I am going to just fray it. And then the inside, I'm probably going to end up, I'm going to look at it. I might end up doing my pinking shears because I did not, I didn't serge it in the beginning. But had I to do it all over again, like when I do my other skirt, I'm probably going to end up serging it, because I do think that it just makes it last longer when you serge it. So I'm going to take a look at this and see if I can actually serge it easily. If I can't, I'll just use my pinking shears. What I will say is that we did a lot of stay stitching on this skirt. So any fray that could happen is not likely going to go past the stay stitch. So I think from that perspective, we're in good shape. I don't think I have to worry about too much fraying going on. probably the side seam where the front and back skirt came together. That's the main area where I might end up having to use my pinking shears, because I'll be able to hem the bottom of the skirt. The top of the skirt has a stay stitch in it. And yeah, so that's really it, to be honest. All right, I'm down to the last little piece. And almost to the end. All right, and now I'm just pivoting down the side. Finish this last little piece. Oops. I'm gonna do a little back stitch. And I do need to cut off these zipper tape edges. Probably cut off the corners too, just to make it better. Same thing on this side. I'm just gonna cut off this edge, cut off this corner, and I'm gonna flip this, and I'll probably press it down. I'm not gonna do it right now, but I will. There we go. And that is a completely finished inside of the skirt. It looks so good on the inside as well. Let me just make sure this zip end's closed. What happened here? It's not completely come out. No. I went down a little bit too low, so I might have to adjust this part. There we go. All right. So I just have to press this facing. Which I will do that. But this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to try it on, and I will be right back so you can all see the final finished look. I'll be right back. It's going to be great. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. I'm back. I was trying to find my turtleneck, but I could not find it. So you have to see it with this top, but I have it on with the boots. So you can see the boots. And I feel like with a blazer, it will definitely, and I still have on my leggings underneath. I didn't take them off, but I think you can kind of get a feel for how it fits. Zippers on the side. And I do have to make an adjustment here. I when I was putting the facing on, I did one upside a little bit higher, so I'll fix that. That's a small little fix. But you could see where if you used a different fabric, a different color fabric, and you can kind of see those little squares going slanted a little bit. These ones are straight. These ones are slanted a little bit. But I like it. I feel like it looks really, really good. I think it'll look great with the turtleneck and maybe a little short blazer. I mean, a short crop top jacket. I think it'll look good. I actually have I'll be right back. I have something else, I think. Okay, so here's a little, like a crop top little jacket. And it's so crazy. I actually have some boots. This is like a crocodile, supposed to be, it's like faux, not real. But I have some boots that are the same style. And so if you could see, I have on suede boots right now, but I can put on some that match this. I'm not going to pull them out the closet, but yeah. I have a little bit more work to do on the styling of it, but I think a couple of little things I feel like it'll work. But that is the skirt. That is the skirt, and I like it a lot. I definitely feel like I could wear it to work. I think it could be worn a couple different. This is a size 16 for those that might be wondering, and it's because my waist is a 35 inch around, and it's got a little bit of room, but not too much. Like, I think this is definitely the right size for it. Got my little pocket right here. So yeah, I like it a lot. I think it turned out really, really well. I would definitely encourage you to make it. So we're at 2 hours and 51 minutes. I would definitely say this is probably a 2-hour project because things on live take a little bit longer. Okay, thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. You said they had that skirt, but I don't know if I have the right size. Yeah, look, so when I got it, I thought I got it and I was gonna cut a size 12. That's how long ago I got the skirt. I'm not a size 12. I'm a size 16 right now. So in this pattern. So the envelope, let me see, right up here. Oh, here it is. It goes up to a size 24. So it is 8 to 16 and then 18 to 24. That is what it goes up to. So it's not completely size inclusive in terms of the larger sizes, unfortunately. It doesn't go all the way up. So I cut a size 16 and I sewed it exactly 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And I'm a 35 waist around and 43 hip area. And I feel like this is fitting me. I have a little bit of room in here, but not, I mean, I wouldn't go a size down at all. I think I have a little bit of room to play around with. And yeah, I wouldn't go down a size. I think it'll make it too tight for sure. But I think it's the right size. I think that was the right size. Size 16 is the right size for where I'm at right now. For sure. And I just gotta fix this little piece. I'm gonna fix that when we get off live. Make that even. Yeah, but it turned out really, really good. I actually like the way it turned out. Yeah. So next week, what are we doing next week? Next week we are doing, let me tell you what we're doing next Friday. Next Friday we are doing next Friday we are actually doing a face mask, but it's a winter face mask. Yeah, so we're doing this winter face mask, and it's also a very beginner friendly. It's probably easy. I think it's definitely easier than this skirt because it doesn't have a zipper or anything like that. But I would encourage you to get your wools or your flannel fabrics that you have, because this is definitely something that you will want to wear, not just like, oh, if I have a cold. It's not a COVID mask. This is like a stylish face mask to wear out when it's the winter is coming. Winter's here, in fact. So I'm looking forward to making that because this is super cute. So if you go and look on my live, the little thumbnail that I have, you'll see how cute it is. But it's something that could be for men or women. So I encourage you to make it. So the pattern number is Simplicity 9368 for next week. That's what we're doing next week. And then this number is 9648 is what we did today. That's what we did today. Magley said, nice. I have the pattern. I have to go find the appropriate fabric. Don't forget to send me the link for the iron. I will definitely not forget to send you the link for the iron. I'm going to post it I'll post it on my community tab, which are the posts. I'll post that before we do anything else. I will make sure I post that. And then I'll also post it on Instagram and TikTok as well. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for staying here with me. Thank you for the questions. Happy New Year to everyone. And I will see you all next Friday. I hope you all join me. I hope some people sew along because I would love to see what you make. And if you do make this skirt that we made today, make sure you tag me. I would love to see what you made. And if you have any questions as you go through your making it, when you're making, if you have any questions, definitely drop me a question. I'll be happy to help you out along the way. So yeah, see you all next week. Thank you, RVB. See you next week. Thank you, Miss Tata. See you next week. Magali, stay tuned. I'm going to post everything for you as soon as we get off this live. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you all next week. Thanks, Carmen. See y'all next week. Bye.